Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Today I'm just going to be talking really lightly about the things that I've been thinking lately. So, number one is that I was just thinking and I came up with the conclusion that the start and the end of any task, any activity, or any process are usually the hardest things to do. It's always the start and the end that's hard to, get over with. The middle part is usually easy once you start it. So I realized about myself that I'm usually good at starting things, but I'm not as good as I am at ending them. So I remember that even during the presentations, the group presentations we used to have during my studies, I usually used to prefer taking the starting role rather than the middle part or the ending. So I feel like I'm good at starting stuff, but I still haven't learned how to uh, you know, stay really efficient at the thing that I've started and to get towards the end. That's the hard thing for me. So it goes with my videos as well. When I started, I was really happy that I'm doing something new and different, and I thought I'm gonna really enthusiastically make videos every week or something. But then somewhere in the middle I lost focus, and I'm just now I'm really randomly making videos, probably like after 1 month or 2 months, and in the middle I just totally forget about it. So I'm going to try to change that. I'll try to be more consistent with everything, because this is not just with the videos. I noticed about myself that I'm really inconsistent with the things that I do. So I'm going to try to change that about myself. And now, before I move on to the next thing I'm going to talk about, I just want to share this thing that my teacher discussed with me that I thought was really valuable, and I would like to share it with you guys. He said that when you're starting reading anything like a big text or a book, it's going to usually repel you in the start. Text has that power, it usually resists anyone in the start because it wants to see who really wants to read it. Okay, if somebody's really wanting to read it, they're gonna still try, even though the text is gonna repel and it's gonna resist the reader to go on. But the reader, if he really wants to read it, they're gonna keep trying to read it. So I noticed that is true, and it usually happens, whenever I'm gonna start a book. In the beginning it feels really boring, or I go like, this is not my kind of book, and I can't imagine reading through it. Even though I am a reader since I was a kid, I've always loved reading, but there's just something that stops me in the start of starting a book or going on when I started. So that is something that I noticed about text to be true. But still, I decided that I'm going to be reading a book almost every week, or at least every month, because reading is something that really keeps you alive, and it opens up your mind to a lot of things. So the two books that I was reading this week were Eat, Pray, and Love. I got it as a gift from one of my friends. It's by Elizabeth Gilbert. I just finished it this morning. It's an amazing book. It's really, really amazing. And it talks about this girl who has, she thinks that she has made some decisions that turned out to be wrong for her, and then she doesn't know how to deal with them. But then she starts traveling, so she's sharing with the readers how she deals with a decision that went wrong for her. So this is something that it's really common for all of us, so you can relate to it, and it has a lot of meditation and things about Sufism and connecting with your God and talking to God about your problems. So this, I think, is a really relaxing sort of a book. It takes you off your problems and everything, and it shows you that you're not the only one who's suffering through bad decisions and all that. The second one that I'm still reading, I'm not done with, is The Clash of Civilizations and The Remaking of World Order by Samuel Huntington. Now, this is something that I usually don't read. It's sort of political and social sciences type of a book. But I decided I need to start reading something different from the usual love stories that I'm always reading. So this is kind of an interesting book. It's talking about, the author is making predictions about the future based on the trends in the world that we see, nowadays and all that. And it's also trying to tell us that there's a difference between modernization and westernization, which is a common thing that we misinterpret. We think that if a nation is getting more modern, it means it's becoming more western as well. So this is something that I really found interesting, that you guys might be interested in reading as well. And if any one of you has read it, then please let me know how it was for you. That was all for today. Have a good day. Allah Hafiz.